focus would be on RBI policy meet this week. In fact, the RBI MPC meet has already started today, and the RBI Monetary Policy Committee outcome would be known on 4th of June itself. And in fact, post India witnessing slightly better than expected GDP growth, although the GDP growth did contract by nearly around 7.3% for FY21. The impact of the COVID second wave is going to be slightly less severe, slightly in terms of the economy as per industry experts, and hence the focus would be on RBI policy this week. In fact, 18 polls suggest that RBI is likely to maintain status quo on both repo rate as well as reverse repo rate this week, and would maintain accommodative stance. We are already seeing that RBI has announced the normalisation of the cash reserve ratio. CRR is has already been stated that it would be rolled back to 4% in two phases effective 27. CRR has been raised to 3.5% from 3% earlier, and from May 22 the CRR will be normalized back to 4%. And do note that the CRR was reduced by close to 100 bips in view of the COVID crisis, and hence RBI has already announced that they will be rolling it back. But besides that, if you look at the growth expectations, well, quite a lot of the economists have gone ahead and cut the GDP growth forecast to sub 10%. SBI being the latest, which has gone ahead and cut the GDP forecast to 7.9% as per SBI economist, and the focus would be at will RBI go ahead and cut the GDP forecast. RBI so far has retained the FY22 GDP forecast at 10.5%. This would be a very crucial data point to be watched out for, and besides that, any changes in terms of the inflationary expectations. Also, how is RBI what is the RBI's assessment in terms of the impact of the COVID second wave on the economy would be very important. Most of the industry experts do state that the impact on the bottom of the pyramid, the MSME sector, as well as on the rural side, has been more in the second wave. And while the Reserve Bank of India has already taken the lead in terms of rolling out certain measures just in the last policy itself, would we see more measures from the RBI to support this section of the economy would be important. Also, RBI's assessment in terms of how long will the accommodative stance continue. RBI has stated already that they will be continuing with this stance as long as it is necessary to support the growth of the Indian economy. Besides that, Moody's does see the fiscal deficit going up to over 11%, and RBI has already announced GSAP to support bonds. Will we see further announcement on that aspect? And also RBI's commentary in terms of rupee intervention would be fairly important. In fact, Nomura in their latest economic report does state that they are expecting the GDP growth at 10.8% in FY22, and Nomura states that on the policy front they expect RBI to maintain the accommodative stance while announcing GSAP 2 to support government bonds. But beyond August, as vaccinations progress, they believe that RBI will assign a higher weighing to the inflation, and hence Nomura expects policy normalization to begin later this year. And Nomura has been the first, in fact, to state that we should possibly be seeing policy normalization sometime later this year, and we have seen that kind of expectation coming in from quite a few other economists as well. So yes, watch out for the RBI policy outcome on 4th of June.